This video is gonna be so long, I can already tell. Look at the mountain of makeup that I have in front of me right now. It's all falling. This is gonna be pretty tricky to sort out, but this is episode 2 of my inventory series, inventory/collection. So the last video on my channel would have been all of my base products. So I went through my foundation, concealer, and powders one by one. I told you what I thought about all of them. And today we're tackling this. This is my blush, bronzer, and highlights. You can see there's a few, and there is so much out of frame right now that you can't even see. I'm just like drowning in stuff. I love a big makeup collection. I buy all of this myself. I know I'm probably gonna get a few people not happy with how much that I own. I do get a lot of stuff sent to me in PR as well, which I'm so unbelievably grateful about. But just before I jump into my in-depth makeup collection inventory and swatch a bunch of things for you guys, if you have not already, like and subscribe, because I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel. And also I'm going to be doing 2 more inventory videos. So coming up, I have eyeshadow, which is going to be amazing, and also lip products. I had this idea, let me know if you want to see it. I'm going to do a big makeup collection and inventory master cut. So I'm going to put all 4 of the episodes together into one mega video. I think that is going to be so much fun. If you want to see that, let me know down below. But this is cheek products. So before I jump into it, so I have, let's say, a face palette here. This has a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight in it. I count this as 1 bronzer, 1 blush, and 1 highlight. I do not count my face palettes as separate categories. If it's a pan of blush, it counts as 1 blush. I know a lot of people do inventories very differently, but that's just how I like to do things. I just wanted to say that before I started this video. But I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to swatch most things, I think. And I'm also going to compare my numbers to April of this year. I know that doesn't sound like that far away, but my collection has changed quite a lot, I think. And it'd be interesting to see how exactly it's changed. So I'm going to try and just pick out the bronzers. Wish me luck. All right, so I've just thrown my blushes and highlights in this big box, and we're going to delve into these a little bit later on. Here we go. These are all of my bronzers in my makeup collection. So let's count them all up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 bronzers. So 21 powder bronzers and 1 cream bronzer up here, which actually isn't that much more than April this year. So April this year, I had 19 powder bronzers plus 1 cream bronzer. So that's not too much of a jump, I don't want to say. I did finish 1 bronzer in my Pan That Face palette, and I also bought 1, 2... Have I bought any more bronzers? I must have done somewhere. I did buy this one, but I don't know if it was that recently. It must have been. So yeah, 3 new bronzer products. So let's talk about face palette bronzers first. Okay, here we go. My face palette bronzers. So I think I'm pretty happy with this number, to be honest. Let's start with my Carrez. So this is my Carrez Bronze and Glow palette. I've had this for quite a while. This was bought in TK Maxx quite a while ago. And this bronzer is very, very light for me. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. It is definitely one of my lighter bronzers. Can you even see that on my hand? Oh my gosh. This bronzer definitely is not reached for much because, I mean, you I was going to say you can see, but I don't think you can. It's very, very, very pale. I can build this up if I really, really work for it, but I definitely keep this palette for the highlight and the blush, not necessarily the bronzer. You can definitely see it somewhat there on my hand, but it's really not very impactful at all. If I could like dig out this bronzer and maybe replace it with something, I probably would. Maybe that's something that I will do in the future, but just for this like palette aesthetic, I really don't want to do that right now. But yeah, this bronzer is definitely like not it. So now let's talk about some NARS. So this is my NARS High Profile Face Palette, and I have obviously dug my nail in here, which is so annoying. I'm not going to swatch this though, because I do want to sell this. If anyone's interested, let me know, DM me on Instagram or something, but I would like to sell this because I'm just not reaching for it. But there are two bronzers in here. They are called Spin-Off and High Demand. So hopefully I can sell this palette in the near future and I can get two less bronzers in my inventory. So I'm not going to spend too long on that just because I don't really see it as part of my collection. This is my NARS Exposed Cheek Palette, and you can see there are two bronzers in this one. This is well loved. This is a really, really nice bronzer. And then this one is slightly too dark for me. You can see there are definitely two very, very different colors. So these are more of that gelée formula of bronzer, and they are definitely very pink leaning. I really, really like these though. They're so pretty. I've really got like a love for this palette over the past year, I think. This bronzer, I mean, you can just see how well loved that is. It is crazy, and I really would like to get more use on this palette as a whole in the coming year, hopefully. I really want this as Pan That Face palette next year, and I think I can do some major damage on this. So these two bronzers I'm really, really happy with, and sometimes I do mix them together on darker days because I feel like this one is slightly too pale, but this one is slightly too dark as well. So yeah, I get use on both of them, but especially this middle one. Next, I have this Lion King face palette. So you can see it is beautiful. I love the Lion King so much. And I have 4 bronzer shades in here. So technically this is a contour. Oh my god, I've not got any makeup on. So technically this is a contour, but I'm just going to count them all as bronzers. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use most of these bronzers on myself. I do definitely reach for this shade the most, which is called Marula. And you could probably see there, this is definitely more of a neutral tone compared to the NARS ones. This is definitely more yellow. The NARS are definitely more red leaning. But I just love this palette so much. Yes, because of the packaging, but also this bronzer is beautiful. This contour I can use, and I can also use this shade, which is called Cub, as well, as more of a kind of neutral, cool bronzer. So you can see that there. That's definitely more cool. That's definitely more warm. Love this palette so much. And this was one of those that I lusted after again. I really, really wanted this so bad, but it was a US exclusive, and then I got my grubby little paws on it. So big, big ka-ching there. And then I have 2 little palettes here. So I'm going to start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Italian Summer Face Palette. So you can see that bronzer swatch there. It's really, really nice. I actually replaced the highlight in this palette because the highlight was horrific. It was just like really thick and dense. Not a good highlight in this palette, but the bronzer and the blush are beautiful. So you can see that bronzer there, definitely more of a neutral tone. And then the Revolution Chocolate Bar palette. Oh, these bronzers are very similar actually. Look at that. That is crazy. They're like exact dupes pretty much. I think the ABH is slightly cooler, but they're very, very similar shades. So yeah, that's interesting. So now we're moving on to single bronzers here. And you can see my face in this one. So this is definitely going to be the one that we start with. This is Fenty Beauty Caramel Cutie. And this is slightly dark for me, I feel like. But you know, I like a dark bronzer every now and then. Actually, compared to the others, it's not too bad. This has a slight greeniness to it. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that. It's very, very strange, but I still really do like this bronzer. You can probably tell the Fenty logo is pretty much worn off by now. So this is definitely a really, really nice bronzer in my collection. I feel like I've gone super rosy and then I'm going down, down, down to more yellow tones. But I love that Fenty one so much. Let's do Kevin Aquan. I've not been able to reach for this one a whole lot, but this is definitely a new one in my collection. I've just swatched the whole thing up and down to try and get a good color match. Yeah, this is definitely more neutral leaning. You can tell it's definitely a lot less warm than that Fenty, and I really like a neutral, deep bronzer. I just love this thing so much. This was another TK Maxx steal. I just love this thing so much. And I love how this side has a bit of a sheen to it. I do like a bit more of a sheeny bronzer sometimes. So this has been beautiful and I feel really bougie having this in my makeup collection. Next, let's talk about an ABH bronzer. This is the shade Tawny and I feel like this is going to be very, very rose toned. I do have a massive dip in this. Actually, it's not as rosy as I thought it would be. It's definitely a slightly more rosy tone than some of the other bronzers that I've swatched, but it's actually not that bad. This dip is huge though. I really think I can hit pan in this very, very soon. And if I can, that would be amazing because I love this bronzer. And again, this was another TK Maxx find. I feel like there's a bit of a pattern emerging with TK Maxx steals. I feel like this is throwing my lighting off. So let's talk about this. This is my only cream bronzer in my makeup collection. And you guys may know I'm not a cream bronzer girl. I'm really, really not. So that is what it looks like swatched there. Definitely more of a neutral shade, again, compared to all these other bronzers. However, I just don't like creams. This is definitely going to be a declutter at the end of the year, just because I would rather reach for any of these over this one, literally any day of the week. I'm just not a cream bronzer fan at all. I found powders a lot easier to use and a lot easier to work with. I just don't have time for cream products. I have very, very dry skin. I've heard that cream products work a lot better for people with more oily skin. I don't know. Everyone to their own, but this is just not one of my favorites. What is one of my favorites is this. This is my Kiko Milano Unexpected Paradise Bronzer. I'm gonna swatch that there. This is quite light, I think, in comparison to my other bronzers, but it is so beautiful. The smell of this smells like coconut. It is so big. The packaging is absolutely gorgeous. So I love this one so much. I do normally go for a lot more dark bronzers, but this one, I don't know, it's not as dark as some of these, but it is definitely something. You can definitely build it up. And this is the first bronzer with a bit of a sheen in it. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see there, but I really, really do love that. Let's do some more sheeny bronzers. So these two have a little bit of shimmer in them. So this is Ofra format, and you can see the rings in this are major. This feels so creamy as well. This still performs so beautifully. I remember a lot of people not liking this because of the sheen in it, but I just think it's gorgeous. I love a little bit of a suntan sheen, and this gives me that so well. I've been saying for years that I want to hit pan on this because just look at these rings. Oh my goodness me. Literally so close to being hit pan on, but I've just not got round to it. But it is such a beautiful shade. It is definitely one of my darker shades, but I still love it. I still use it quite a lot. I love that. Then this is one of my more new bronzers. This is my Mitchell Bronze Pod. And I feel like the shades online for this were a little bit tricky to decipher, but this was the shade. It's definitely a lot more warm than some of the other tones, but I still really, really do enjoy it. This is the shade Almond Mom, and I really enjoy this. I have a love-hate relationship with Made by Mitchell products, but this is such a nice bronzer. If you like that more sheeny bronzer, I definitely recommend this. I seem to really like his powder products and really not like any of his cream products. And that leaves 2 more bronzers. This is the Kinder Kind Bronze Bronzer. Clearly a dupe for the Physicians Formula, so let's give this a go. This has been in my project, this is Fantasy, and wow, swatched, it looks quite a lot more cool toned than my other bronzers. You can see it's definitely got that like grayness to it. I find this crazy because I've never swatched all my bronzers together, but they all look so different. I feel like when you're just putting bronzer on your skin, they all kind of look the same. But when you swatch them out, they're all so different. That's kind of crazy. I never ever thought that before. But yeah, this is definitely more of a cool bronzer. And I really, really like it. I've been using it a hell of a lot over the past few months. And this is definitely a really pretty one. I got this in a glossy box eons ago. And then my newest bronzer, this is my NYX Buttermelt bronzer in the shade Buttercup, and I watched a Sarah Rose video before. Wow, that looks so light, oh my gosh. But I watched a Sarah Rose video just as I'd ordered this, and she was like, oh, it doesn't work for my skin and it looks more like a blush on me. However, that's like one layer and you can definitely see it on my skin tone. I'm very, very pale, by the way, so just keep that in mind. This does work as a bronzer for me if I build it up. So let me try and do another layer of this. It's definitely more of a rosy tone bronzer here, but it's got that sheen in it, which I absolutely love as well. And I don't know, I really like it as a bronzer. It's very different to any of the other bronzers that I have in my collection. You can see this now looks like a blush. Honestly, compared to all of these bronzers, this looks pure blush to me. But I love it as a bronzer. I really, really do. I love all of these, apart from the cream, which I think was this one. I don't know. I'm going to have a really hard time decluttering my bronzers at the end of the year because I just love all of them. So here you go. That is what, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh yeah, we didn't swatch all of the ones in the palettes. That's probably why. But yeah, these are my bronzers. A lot of bronzers, but I do love a good bronzy look. So now let's move on to blushes. I think we're gonna have a hard time with this because I'm a blush fiend. I've also tried to just clean this a little bit. I was gonna change the towel, but I really don't have time. Today's mine and Ben's anniversary and we're going for a meal very, very soon. So I don't know, just please try and ignore that. I'm really, really sorry. I know it's not the best, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. So let's get some blushes out. And again, I am going to include face palettes in this as well. All right, just a few blushes, as you can see. I'm going to count all these out. And I feel like there's going to be a massive jump from my last inventory. So in April, I had 32 pressed blushes plus 1 cream blush. I've been sent 3 blushes in PR and I've also not finished any. So we're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to count these up. Comment down below, how many do you think I have right now? And no cheating. Comment right now, pause this video, let me know your thoughts, and I'm gonna count these up. All right, I'm back. Actually, it's not as horrific as I thought, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I have 34 pressed blushes and 1 cream blush. I actually don't think that's horrific, okay? Hear me out. So I've only gone up 2 somehow, even though I've received 3 in PR. Have I finished a blush recently? I did finish my Beauty Bay Peachy blush. Was that in the past few months? That must have been in the past few months because I've just counted again and that's definitely the right number. So, hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I've done a lot better than I thought I did. So let's again start with face palettes. have a little bit of a swatch party, talk about some of the blushes, if I like them, if I don't like them, and then move on to singles and do a whole thing again. I hope you're enjoying this because I find this so fun. I'm absolutely loving this. Here are my face palettes that have blush in them. That's going to annoy me, so I'm going to turn that around. So we do have some familiar faces from the bronzer round, but also some new palettes as well. Like I said, I do count a blush as one pan in a face palette. So some of these face palettes may be in all three of these categories. So let's start swatching. So like I said before, this high profile palette from NARS, I'm not going to swatch because I do want to sell this and I just don't, it's so pristine. I don't think I've actually used this at all. But I have obviously gouged my nail in there, which is annoying. So this counts as 3, 1, 2, 3. So again, I'm going to pop that to the side and I'm going to talk about this NARS Exposed Cheek palette. Here we go. So we've got 3 blushes here. I love these blushes so much. Look at these. I really wasn't keen on the gelée formula at first, but now I feel like I've really gotten to know it and really gotten to love it. And it's like my perfect cream, but not cream. I don't like cream products. We've been through this, but this like gelée is really, really nice. These shades are very pink for me. You can probably tell I don't use these 2 shades as much as I do this shade because they are quite dark for my skin tone, but I still really, really love this palette. I think that I'm going to be loving this palette so much in the next year and I really can't wait. And I mean, look at the outside packaging. Love. Next, I have the blush in this Caress palette. This reminds me of how everyone describes NARS Orgasm. It's got that like yellowy shimmer in it. I've never tried or swatched NARS Orgasm. I feel like I'm blowing my lighting. There we go. Yeah, I've never swatched NARS Orgasm. I've never tried it, but this, from what everyone says, is very, very similar to that. Just like sheen with like gold in it. And I really, really do love this blush. As I said, I do keep this palette for these 2 shades, not necessarily the bronzer. So I'm very happy with that. So next I have some of my smaller palettes. Let's start with this Makeup Obsession Sweet Like a Peach palette. Look how cute this is. Now, these 2 shades I really don't like, but these 2 shades I really, really do like. So this doesn't have much pigment to it. Let me swatch it like here. Oh, it does actually on my hand. Maybe I'm a big fat liar. This is why I need to try my products more because I say something and then it just turns out not to be true. This one, from what I remember, doesn't have much payoff. Yeah, it's like, it's fine. It's not like nothing special, but these 2 shades are like so unique. Look at these shades. So we've got a peach, like a pinky peach, and then just like a pure orange. Now, I'm way too scared to use this pure orange on my skin without mixing it with some of these, but mixed with some of these, it is so pretty. And then this super vibrant peach shade is just so stunning as well. I really, really do love this and I will keep using it. Next, let's talk about, if you're not already bored stiff of these palettes, look at these. These are my Pan That Face palettes this year, and you can see there are 2 blushes in here. I've got pretty good progress on both of them. So Sinfully Delicious is my favorite, even though it's not got organic pan on it. This was where I gouged my nail into it by accident. Trust me. And then Mastery of Chocolate is like my more everyday. Even though it's not my favorite shade, it's definitely the more everyday shade. So I've definitely got more use on that one. So that is what those 2 look like there. I've just been using this pretty much every day. It's a really nice, just neutral, don't have to think about it, not too in your face kind of blush. And then Sinfully Delicious, I have got a pretty big dip on this, to be honest, because England did have a heat wave. You can see the rings there poking through a tiny bit. England had a heat wave recently, so I've absolutely been loving this more poppy, vibrant blush. And they both do have some little bits of shimmer in them as well. So I do love both of them. I would really love to have this nearly finished by the end of the year. You can definitely see the rings poking through this one as well. A massive organic pan. So I'm loving these two. I've really enjoyed playing with these this year. Next is the Anastasia palette once again. This blush also has a massive dip in it and it is stunning. It is so vibrant. I don't think I have anything quite like that. It is just so like hot bubblegummy pink, but in a really nice way. It's not like the trendy bubblegum pink that was going around, but it's definitely something a little bit different, and I really do love that. Next, I have these two palettes, and these are what these ones look like. So this is, like, I gotta swatch this. Look at this shade. Oh my god. Can you get more pink than that? I do not reach for that often at all. I reach for like this shade quite a lot though. This is my Technic Warm palette and I got this in a mystery box and like the shades are really pretty. There's a lot of kick up in these, but this one works really well as a mixing blush as well. If I do want to do something more vibrant, I can mix it in with this kind of like whitish blush and it works really, really well. So I love that palette. And then this one, these are two blushes as well, Midnight Rose and Blushing Luna. We have one really vibrant shimmery pink, which is that one there, and then one more of a brownie neutral blush, which is that one there. Very, very different, but very, very beautiful. All right, that's it for cheek palettes for the blush section. Let's bring in a whole lot of single blushes. I'm gonna have the time of my life with these. Here we go. These are all of my single blushes. Let's get them all in frame. Here we go. The lights are reflecting off quite a few of them, so I'm gonna get rid of the ones that the lights are reflecting off first. So this is my Kiko Unexpected Paradise blush, and this is honestly one of my favorite blushes in my whole collection. Again, it does smell beautiful and it has like a terracotta brownie red kind of feel to it. It's very similar actually to the blush that I've just swatched above it. Like that's quite eerily similar. But I mean, the packaging of this is stunning. The smell of this is gorgeous. I just love this for an everyday neutral blush. You can see it's not very pink at all. It's definitely more earthy. And that's, I just, oh, love, 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 love. So let's do some of these Odin's Eye blushes. I was so lucky to have Odin's Eye reach out and send me these. Like, are you kidding? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? But let's start with Solar Eclipse. This was one I wasn't really a fan of. I need to try this as a highlighter because it's definitely, like, this is not a blush. That's not a blush. That is a pure highlight. And I even think as a highlight, that's going to be so dark for me. So I probably will be getting rid of that one in my declutter series because I just can't use it. I've tried to use this on my cheeks. It just doesn't really work. But the other two I really, really love. So this is the shade Pink Bloom. And this is in my everyday makeup drawer right now. I've not been able to use it yet. But that is what that one looks like. It's super pigmented. A really, really nice neutral pink color. It's quite a cool tone pink. So gorgeous. And then the final shade is Lilac Mist, which is definitely a lot more pink, a lot more vibrant. And let's pop that one there. Again, like so pink. Very reminiscent of these first shades that we swatched. Like that is pink, and as long as you have a light hand with this, it can work quite well for very pale skin tones, but you've got to have a light hand because that is crazy. So we have two Milani blushes here. So I have, of course, Luminoso. Everyone knows her, everyone loves her, and then Sunset Passion as well. So let's swatch these. Luminoso was in my last everyday makeup drawer, and I loved playing around with this. It's just a very everyday pink kind of shade. It is so lovely. It's got that slight sheen to it as well. Just stunning. And then Sunset Passion, I don't actually use that much. It's more of this like mulled wine kind of neutral shade. That's really pretty though. I definitely should use that more because that is like really gorgeous. Okay, let's do this one. This is a little bit of a different one. This is some shades from my Pan That palette, which is my Modern Renaissance all Franken together. So I know I'm probably not going to finish this as well as my Pan That palette this year. That's fine. I'm going to get round to it at some point. Wow, they look really similar too. That's kind of crazy. This is really nice though. It's like a really, I don't know how to describe it, like a cranberry kind of shade on the cheeks. I was really worried about how this was going to turn out because there are quite dark shades in this, but it actually turned out really beautiful. Very, very similar to Sunset Passion actually. Wow. So technically Modern Renaissance won't be done until this is done, but I am going to finish Modern Renaissance, the eyeshadows in the palette, and then I'll move on to this. I do know that I need to finish this, but just not yet. Not yet. I'm Modern Renaissanced out right now. I can't. I do have two Lottie London blushes. Let's move these to the side and let's try and find a place to swatch these. So this is Haze, which is the teeny tiny baby one. And then we have Red Hot, which is the darker one. These look quite similar. I don't reach for these often at all. That swatched so beautifully though. It's so creamy still. Definitely more of that vibrant pink shade. And then Red Hot is this shade. Very similar, but this one is very much darker. I do love both of them though. I got both of them on Reliked, I think. Or maybe I got one in a glossy box and one on Reliked. I'm not too sure. I love both of them though. I really do. This year's declutter is going to be like something else because I just love all of them. Okay, this one is from SheGlam. This is something a little bit different, I think. That being said, I'm probably going to find an exact dupe on my arm somewhere. This, yeah, it's quite similar to like this one. It's a little bit pinkier though. It definitely has some similar shades. It's like this one up here as well is kind of similar. But this is Seduction from SheGlam. I've said before, I'm not a big fan of SheGlam at all. I would not be buying from them again. But I'm not going to throw away the products that I already own just because I've spent my money on them. I've already bought them. And I really do like this one as well. Okay, we've only got a few more blushes left. I'm going to try and fit them all on this arm. Maybe I'll have to swatch on this part of my arm. But I want to swatch this one next to the SheGlam one. This is Colourpop Flirt Alert. And it's definitely more of a cool tone as well. Oh, wow. You could not see that swatch at all. I'm going to build this up. Okay, they're definitely very different. Flirt Alert has more of that like purpliness to it. And Seduction has more of that like browniness. Definitely very, very different. I think maybe these two share a similar, maybe. I actually think this is very, very unique in my collection. I really do love this. It's definitely something a little bit different. And I mean, the packaging, gorgeous. 3 more to go. So let's do MAC Peaches. This is such a classic. And I actually got this for free. Am I swatching in frame? Yes, I am. This seems to be like the truest peach on my arm, if you can see. This is a true peach. These are definitely more orange. There's a lot of pink, a lot of brown. This is like a peach. True, orangey, pinky peach. And yeah, I didn't realize how unique this was actually. That's very, very unique. So there you go. I love this. Yeah, I got this for free because when I did get Glossy Box, I filled out those little questionnaires that they sent you every month. I don't know if they still do it, but I got so many Look Fantastic points that I got this and the Too Faced Born This Way concealer for free because I just completed so many little questionnaires that they just gave me money off. So here you go. I love this. I have not used this in forever though. You can tell it's pretty much brand new. It's barely ever been used. I've had this for years though. That's the thing when you have so much makeup. It's really hard to try and get love on everything. And that's another reason why I'm absolutely loving my Everyday Makeup Drawer series because I feel like I can kind of spread the love a little bit. So my 2 Fenties are next. This is Sangria Sunset and Mimosa Sunrise. 2 very unique shades and I Love them both. So this is the orange, that is the pink. On their own, they do look a little bit out there. However, mixed together, can I just like swatch them mixed? That is not a good swatch. Can you see that? That is a really nice peachy neutral blush shade, slightly warm, but I really do love them mixed together, and that's why I keep them. Again, this was another one I lusted after and another TK Maxx steal, and I have left this one for last because this is my only cream blush. That is what that one looks like there, a bright red. I have spoken about this recently. I'm not keen on this shade. I've just like smudged all of the swatches. That's so annoying. I'm not keen on this formula. I'm just really, really not. I just don't like creams. So this is probably going to go in my declutter. Just because it's cream. I just don't reach for it at all. So here we go. This is the big old swatch of blushes. Look at them all. Oh my goodness me. What is your favorite blush formula? Let me know down below. What is something that gets you every single time? I'd love to know. And yeah, this is something else. This arm is something else completely. But we're nearly finished with this video. We've got one more category left. We've got highlight left. And let's count them all up. Let's put all these blushes away. And let's finish with highlight. All right, so these are my highlights. Again, a few familiar faces with the face palettes up here. So I've just counted them up, and in April I had 14 highlights, and now I have 18. So I have gone up because Odin's Eye, again, sent me these gorgeous highlighters. And I also bought this, which is the Kimchi Pearl Gone Wild. So these are the 4 new highlighters in my makeup collection. I love them all. I'm so grateful. So we're going to swatch everything once again. And we're going to do a big old collection video of all of my highlighters. So I hope you're still with us. I hope you're still comfortable. We're on the final stretch. So let's put away the single highlighters, and again, let's start with the palettes. So once again, same deal with this. I'm not going to swatch this highlight because I do want to sell this eventually. This is so dark for me as well. This highlight is like a yellow gold. It would never ever work for my skin tone, so double the reason not to swatch that. This is my NARS Exposed Cheek palette. Oh my gosh, you've never seen it before in your life. I know. This highlight, I actually really didn't like it when I first tried it, but now I really, really do. Like, this is subtle for me. This is my kind of subtle highlight. I know, shocker. I know a lot of people would not class this as a subtle highlight, but for me, it's like an everyday, nice, just neutral highlight, and I really do like it just for every day. As I've been reaching for this bronzer, I've also been playing around with the other shades in this palette, and this highlight as well is one of them. It's one that I've actually learned to love a little bit. I was adamant I did not like this highlight when I first bought this palette, but guess what? I like it now. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Next is the Carez Bronze and Glow palette. I'm going to start with the old goodies, the ones that we've already kind of spoken about. This is very, very similar. I think the NARS is slightly darker and maybe slightly pinker. This is definitely more neutral, more champagne-y, but again, very, very similar vibes, very similar like reflectiveness. I never noticed that until now. And then we have our little palettes. So let's start with the Revolution. What is this? It's the Contour Palette and Palette Contour. So just in case you couldn't get the first way around, they've also put the second way around just in case, you know, you needed that. This is definitely more of a thick highlight, but it is still really, really pretty. It's definitely a little bit lighter than the others. It's not as reflective, but I really do like it still. I think it's a really, really nice, just everyday highlight. It's definitely, yeah, that's definitely lighter than the others. This is, as I said, not original to this ABH palette. This is actually one of my favorite highlights. Like, look at that. That is 2016 highlight in a swatch. This is the Revolution. Oh God, what was it called? I can't remember what it was called, but I will try and put it on screen. It was one of my favorite highlights in the world. I finished one of them, I'm pretty sure, and then I bought this as a backup and then just put it in here. just stunning. Like, this from Revolution is craziness. Like, that is just beautiful. And then this is the highlight that I'm working on this year. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see, just a little bit of a spoiler. I do have pan in this, a very, very slight baby pan. You can see there. You can see there. I'm going to try and expand this pan as much as possible before my update, but that is what that highlight looks like. It's really nice, really smooth. I've got a lot of good love on this year. This was pretty much full. No, it wasn't. It did have a pan in this when I started panning it, but I mean, I'm really hoping we're going to have this done by the end of the year. That would be incredible. So let's move on to single highlighters and see what shiny goodness we can find. Here we go, here we go. So some single highlights. So where's the one I don't want to swatch? This one. So this is called Light Glory from Odin's Eye. Wow, you can see that duochrome so well there. It's like a bronze to like a chartreusey green kind of color. And I don't want to swatch this for obvious reasons. I am a ghost. I am pasty white. This is not pasty white. This is dark. I'm going to try and find someone with a darker skin tone to use this. One of my co-workers goes really, really dark in the summer. Maybe her or one of her siblings can use this. I don't really know many people with super deep skin tones. I'm going to ask around, but I don't want to swatch it just because I won't use this. So someone else can use it. I'd rather them have a brand new highlight instead of a highlight with my grubby fingers in it. Let's do Star Legend, which is one that I really want to play around with. You can see that, oh, that duochrome there. It's like a pink to a yellow shade. Just beautiful. This is one of my newest highlights. Look how bright that is. This is definitely like a glittery highlight. If you're not into super glittery, metallic, in your face highlights, these probably aren't for you. You can tell the difference between these more smooth highlights and then this just like party central glitter. I love them though. I think they're so fun. This is Moon Tears, which is the second one that I'm keeping. This is more of like a yellowy blue, kind of more neutral in a sense. You can see that there. I did do a first impression. Then you can see that duochrome there, like a blue to purple. So stunning, so glittery, just so fun. Like, this is just a fun highlight. I really do love that. And I want to swatch this kimchi one next to that Odin's Eye one, if I could open it. Oh my gosh, there we go. Because this, again, is one of those blue to purple highlights, but it's definitely more... Okay, this is definitely more blue. There we go. You can definitely see how blue that is in comparison. I feel like this, I can't believe I'm saying it, is the more neutral one. Who'd have thought? Because that is definitely not neutral. But I really love the kimchi one as well. It's definitely one of my more new highlights. And you can definitely see how crazy that is in comparison to these more neutral shades. But I just love it so much. Let's do this one, the Lion King X Revolution Heart of a Lioness. I was a little bit scared of this highlight because it is very pink, as you can see there. I at first was like, oh, am I going to want this as a highlight? Is this going to work as a highlight? But it actually works really, really nicely, especially if I use it with more of a blushy look. It just makes kind of like a blush topper highlight kind of thing. I really am glad that I played around with this because this scared me for a while because I just didn't know what to do with it. I think my highlight declutter is going to be my best declutter because I have these two that I really just don't like. So let's start with the Becca Moonstone highlight. I did use this in a video recently and it was all the worst makeup in my collection. So that's what it looks like there. Swatched out, you can kind of see it, but on the face and on the brush, you just can't see it at all. It is so lackluster. And a lot of you guys said that it might be because mine is old and dried out a little bit. Yeah, it could be. But ever since I first got this, it's just been not very good. And I know it looks so stunning on my arm there, but just trust me, it's painful. It is painful. If you saw that Get Ready With Me, you will know how bad this is. I do not like it, not at all. Then, this says KKW on it. It's not. I actually can't open this with my nails. Oh my gosh. I don't want to snap it. I can't open this. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna snap in it. I've just been sat here for ages trying my best to open it. I can't. Oh my god. I can't open it. I can't open it, and I value my nails too much. I've only just got them done. I've got to wait 3 weeks from like now to get them done again. I'm not breaking it. This is not KKW glass. This is a Franken of my Pan That Face palette from like eons ago, my Aurora Glow Kit. And I put myself through the torture of trying to finish that glow kit, and I got very, very close. This is the only remnant left, but I've got PTSD from that. I have been panning that for so long, I just don't want to look at it again. I've burnt out with that palette, so that is definitely going to be decluttered. That, and I can't even open this compact, so that's good. The rest of these I actually really, really enjoy. So let's start with this. This is the Glow Globe from SheGlam. We've had the SheGlam talk before, we all know. This is something really, really different though. This isn't necessarily a highlight. I don't use it as a highlight anyway. You can see it there. It's like PC glittery shimmer. And I use this as an eye topper. So I might put this in my eye, like single eyeshadow drawer, because this as a highlight is not for me. With these look glittery, but if you blend them out and you really like buff them into the cheeks, they do kind of go a little bit more smooth. This just stays glitter. This is a pure glitter topper highlight, but as an eyeshadow, I really do enjoy it. So I think I am going to put this in my eyeshadow drawer because I really don't like it as a highlight. As an eyeshadow, that like PC glitteriness is just stunning. I love that. Oh, for a glazed donut. What a throwback. You can see I have a pan in this. This was my first high-end highlighter, and I was so excited to buy this. I was just like what seems like a young little child when I bought this. And I bought it from Beauty Bay. It was my first high-end, pretty much anything really. It is so grubby right now. I'm so sorry. But this I just loved, and I used and abused this. I don't even think this was in a project pan. I just hit pan on this and kept using it. And I mean, I'd love to get more use on it, to be honest, because it is getting a little bit old and I've already got like a massive head start on this. So if I can maybe pan this in the future, that would be incredible. I would love that. This is like an unexpected favorite. This is my Sleek Solstice Equinox highlight. I'm not sure if this is still a thing, but this, oh, that's so stunning. It's not quite as vibrant as glazed donut. It is slightly more champagne, but that is just beautiful. For a drugstore highlight, this is so stunning. It's so smooth as well. It's so vibrant and blinding. Love the Makeup Obsession Mega Lightning. This is crazy. This was like £4, and this will blind you. Like, that is like crazy. Oh my gosh, this is almost like too much. I've never ever experienced a highlight that's too much, but this is verging on that line. This is like, it's getting there. It's like, it's pushing it a little bit, but this is like £4. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued now. It might not be, I don't know, but that is crazy. And finally, I'm losing my voice. Benefit Cookie. I'm so sad that Benefit test on animals. Oh, it feels so smooth. This is like a classic. This is so pretty. Look at that. That is just so beautiful. This whole arm, I love. I love highlight. I still love highlight. I'm living in my 2016 era still. Highlight makes me so happy. A vibrant, beautiful, blinding highlight. Sign me up. Sign me up. So, my goodness, my voice is hurting. I'm really happy with this inventory. I don't think we went up too much. Like, not too much. I was expecting a lot worse, especially considering I have got quite a few things in PR over the past few months. Next video is going to be my eyeshadows, and that is going to be... Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That is definitely going to be going up. I think I've got like 9 or like 7 to 9 eyeshadows sent to me in PR over the past few months. So yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow because we're going to swatch a bunch of eyeshadow palettes. We're going to be talking about my whole eyeshadow palette collection. So definitely stay tuned for that video. If you did enjoy this video and you're excited for eyeshadows tomorrow and then lipsticks on the day after that, give me a like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you're notified when that goes live. And also don't forget to tell me if you want to see that big master video right at the end of this series with all of these videos combined into one. Let me know because I think that's going to be crazy. All right then, have an amazing day. I'm going to have a strepsil and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.